My channel is primarily based around the game Hypixel Skyblock, but in this video I'm going to try something different: Wynncraft. Wynncraft is an MMORPG that has been around for over 10 years by now, released on the 29th of April 2013, and requires you to play in the latest version of Minecraft. I plan on playing Wynncraft, progressing through early stages of the game, and I'll show some clips of my experience, then compare it to Hypixel Skyblock since that's the main game I play. So let's go ahead and begin. The first thing I was faced with was choosing a class to play. I chose Archer since I figured it would be the safe option, but other classes included Mage and Melee, etc. The very beginning of the game was really pretty straightforward, which was great for someone like me who had no idea what I was doing. The start of the game is heavily focused around the story, which is unpacked through NPC dialogue, and the game also includes some neat waypoints that you can follow if you don't know where to go for a specific task or quest. I found these waypoints very helpful, as I didn't know my way around the map and would get lost pretty easily. Anyways, after I made my way through the first couple of quests, I got to my first boss fight, which would have been easy if the server wasn't lagging so hard, but after relogging I was able to defeat it and make my way to the first city, which is where I was given a horse. The horse was great since I was able to travel a lot faster, but later on I would discover some abilities that made travel much easier, but that's for later in the video. Anyways, it was here I discovered how to identify items, turning them into useful weapons and armor at the item identifier NPC. There are also many loot chests spread around the map that you might have noticed, ranging from 1 stars to 5 stars, 5 stars being found at the end of caves and quests, yielding the best rewards. I also came across many skills like fishing, farming, combat, and foraging, which were all similar to Hypixel Skyblock. I think one of the main things that made this experience different from Hypixel Skyblock is the custom texture pack and the fact that it's set in the latest version of Minecraft. Anyways, for the next couple of hours I used my quest book to locate and complete various quests and explore caves to upgrade my gear. It was at this point I encountered my first dungeon, which I failed on the first time, but managed to beat it the second time with the help of some archer abilities I'd unlocked earlier. These abilities enabled me to dash backwards, which was also handy for making my way around the map. Another ability enabled me to shoot an exploding arrow that dealt a ton of damage. These abilities were activated by clicking the left click and right click of my mouse in different patterns like seen here. Also, these abilities used mana, which can run out, so I used them sparingly. After defeating my first dungeon, I would continue playing through the various quests in the book, and in the end got to level 38 and identified my first pieces of gold armor, which is stronger than leather. Some similarities I found with Wynncraft and Hypixel Skyblock is, first of all, that you can have multiple profiles. Like I showed at the start of the gameplay, I was able to choose from 5 different classes. I also had many different profile slots that were empty, so I could actually go back and start a new class and play through that if I wanted to. Other similarities included skill progression and levels, so that's like Skyblock levels, and skills such as fishing, foraging, combat were all pretty similar in Wynncraft. Another similarity is the wide range of classes and builds. I was able to see a lot of people in different classes, and I actually got many weapons that I couldn't use because they were mage weapons or assassin weapons, etc. So there's a wide range of classes and builds in Wynncraft, like there is in Hypixel Skyblock with different metas and dungeons, Kudra, etc. Also, items have level restrictions in Wynncraft, which is similar to Hypixel Skyblock. Most items require you to be a certain combat level. In Hypixel Skyblock, a lot of dungeon items require a certain catacombs level to use, so that's a similarity there. Also, the presence of dungeons. Dungeons in Wynncraft are a little different, including a lot more parkour, but are pretty much the same, where you have to find your way through, kill a bunch of mobs, and there's a big boss fight at the end. Now let's move on to the differences of Wynncraft. Probably the biggest difference, like I mentioned before, is that it has its own texture pack. This for me really enhanced the experience and was partly the reason I wanted to start playing it, because I was just a bit bored of the regular generic Minecraft feel that Hypixel Skyblock has. Hypixel Skyblock has many fan-made texture packs like First Sky Reborn, which is really good, but it still doesn't affect many of the blocks and isn't as in-depth as the Wynncraft texture pack. Another big difference between Wynncraft and Hypixel Skyblock is that Wynncraft isn't actually Skyblock, so there are no islands. This gives the player a much bigger map to explore and enables the builders to get a bit more creative with certain aspects of the game. Another difference is that it has a built-in guide and much more developed story. This helps early game players figure things out when they first join. And compared to Hypixel Skyblock, which does have like a Skyblock XP guide, it's a lot more helpful in my opinion for early game players. There is also a lot less grinding and more exploring and learning, I feel. This can be debatable because someone who's new to Hypixel Skyblock is doing a lot of exploring and learning as well, but the fact that it's not an economy based game, but a lot of players will just grind the quests and get items through that, which is sort of similar to Iron Man players in Hypixel Skyblock. So there's no like, you join in, you unlock a money making method, and you just grind that for like a million hours and get a bunch of coins to buy all of your weapon and armor. There's also, like I showed before, many abilities for different items, and there's actually a different system to Skyblock where instead of just right click, which it does have that, there's also a ability tree which gives you different abilities depending on the class you chose. Also, if you like, you don't even need to worry about farming, mining and foraging unless it's to do with a certain quest, and you can just go full on combat and just unlock dungeons and just grind dungeons and have a bunch of fun that way. Now, this is debatably similar to Hypixel Skyblock because most players don't touch foraging, but due to how the XP system works with Skyblock levels, it means to get the max Skyblock level you obviously have to do those things. However, this isn't really the case with Wynncraft. I found that this means you have more control over what you grind, meaning you can get to endgame and just not have really touched mining, farming and foraging in Wynncraft. Obviously, if you wanted to completely max the game, you would do these skills at some point like Hypixel Skyblock, so I guess that's a final similarity. But yeah, that was my Wynncraft experience. If you liked the video, please be sure to subscribe, it really helps me out. And if you had any comments you'd like to make, I know there'll be a bunch of Wynncraft experts in the comments telling me everything I did wrong, and that's fine. This was really just a fun little video I wanted to put together of me playing a game other than Skyblock for once. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.